Have you ever looked at a portfolio full of different bonds and just wondered, how on earth do I figure out the total risk with one single number? Well, you're in the right place. We're about to pull back the curtain on a super powerful tool that does exactly that. It's going to give you a really clear picture of how sensitive your investments are to all the changes in the market.
And this is a really important question, right? Because your portfolio, it's probably got all sorts of stuff in it. You might have short-term bonds, long-term bonds, maybe even some cash sitting on the side. So how do you boil all of that down into one simple, easy-to-understand number that tells you exactly how your whole investment will react when interest rates start to move?
Well, the answer is a concept called duration, or you might hear it called macham. Basically, all duration tells you is how much your portfolio's value is likely to change if interest rates move by 1%. Think of it like a weighted average of every single thing inside your portfolio. And you know what? We're about to calculate one, step by step.
Okay, so here's the portfolio we're going to work with today. It's a nice little mix. We've got 10% in cash, which, as you can see, has a duration of 0. That makes sense, right? Cash isn't really affected by interest rates. Then we've got 4 different bonds, and each one has its own duration and its own weight in the portfolio. Now, keep an eye on bond D. It has a super high duration of 10, and it makes up 30% of the portfolio. That one, that's going to have a huge impact on our final number.
The actual math here is surprisingly simple. It's just a 3-step process. For every single asset, you're going to take its duration and you multiply it by how much of you own, its weight. You do that for everything in the portfolio, and then at the end, you just add up all those numbers. That's it. Let's do it right now. First up, the easy one, cash. Its duration is 0. So no matter what you multiply it by, its contribution to the portfolio's risk is 0. It's our nice, stable foundation.
All right, next we've got bond A. It has a duration of 2, and it makes up 15% of our holdings. So we multiply 2 by 0.15, and we get a weighted contribution of 0.30. Simple. Now for bond B, a duration of 2.8 and a weight of 25%, you multiply those together, and you get a weighted value of 0.70.
Moving on to bond C. Now we're getting into some bigger numbers. Its duration is 5. It's 20% of the portfolio, and its contribution is a nice round 1.00. See how that higher duration is really starting to make an impact.
And finally, here comes our heavyweight, bond D. With that really long duration of 10 and being our biggest holding at 30%, its contribution is a massive 3.00. I mean, this one bond is clearly the biggest driver of risk in our entire portfolio.
Okay, so we've calculated the weighted duration for every single asset. Now for the fun part, the final step. We just add them all up. So we've got 0 plus 0.3 plus 0.7 plus 1.0, and we add that big 3.00 on top.
And the grand total is 5. That's it. This one number, 5, represents the combined interest rate risk of our entire diversified bond portfolio. It's pretty much the most important number for understanding how sensitive this whole thing is.
So, here's the million-dollar question. What do we actually do with this number? Knowing the duration is 5 is great, but what does it mean in the real world? You know, when you're managing your money, how does this translate into actual gains or losses? Here's the key takeaway, the rule of thumb. A duration of 5 means that for every 1% change in interest rates, your portfolio's value is going to move about 5% in the opposite direction. So if rates go up by 1%, your portfolio value is expected to fall by about 5%. And if rates go down by 1%, you can expect your portfolio to rise by about 5%. It's a really powerful and simple way to think about managing your risk.
So there you have it. You now have the tool to figure this out for yourself. See? It's not some mysterious, complex number that only finance gurus can calculate. It's actually a pretty straightforward calculation that you can do, which really just leaves one final question. What's the duration of your portfolio, and are you comfortable with that level of risk?